All right. So this prompt is talking about human impacts on ecology and different things we can do to help. And what I think number one most important change human needs to make to help the environment. So one thing that I think stuck out to me a little bit more that I've never thought about in regards to climate change is we talked about consuming resources. Are we yeah, we have carbon and that affects the environment in the here and now, and we can kind of see the change happening in the carbon spikes and that sort of thing. But we don't really talk about the impacts that you're using up all the resources we'll have. It's something that I think is a very American thing, and it might even be spreading to the rest of the world. I'm not sure, but to me, I see it more in America. As we have to have more. We have to have the best. We have to have things and stuff, and we have to live, these great lifestyles with all this crap in it. And a prime example of that is I had been running my business for a while, and my brother started doing the same thing, tree planting. And I had actually bought really crappy equipment and used that before I think I had that equipment for like 4 years before I upgraded to a newer truck, which even wasn't that new. And then I bought a brand new machine because mine was pretty much given out. My brother started, and then within the first year, he had bought a new machine because he just couldn't handle the old one, and he needed a really, really nice new truck with all this extras on it, and he just had to have the new stuff and the better stuff. I think that's probably the biggest thing I see in humanity is we don't know how to use our resources. We don't know how to manage our resources. We always have to have new. We always have to have better. We always have to have more. I mean, you look at cell phones, and every year, Samsung and Apple, they come out with this next generation phone that all these new features that aren't actually new. They're just maybe minusculely better than the last year's features. But people have to buy the new iPhone. They have to buy the new Galaxy. They have to. Americans are really bad at walking, so we're using a lot of fuel because we have to drive everywhere. I think I mentioned that in my last video, is that I prefer to kind of walk when I get the chance because one, it's healthy and it's good for you, and two, you're not using up resources. Another really bad area that I think we're in is if you work in the food market, restaurant business, fast food, you work at the store or something like that, we throw tons of food away. So all this resource that goes into growing cattle and the methane that the cows release and the greenhouse gases that they cause. And then we throw so much meat away. We throw lots of it away because it sits on a shelf, it expires, and we throw it away. But we've fed into this culture of we must have everything right here at our fingertips ready to go, that we've created this crazy culture of give me everything I want now, and so we stock it now, and then we don't necessarily get it, and so it gets thrown away and it goes to waste. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably the number one thing that we need to change now because that's going to cause the most damage in the future is no resources. Once the resources are gone, they're gone. Um, so maybe if we can teach people to live more within their means, more just get what you need when you need it. Don't have all this extra stuff lying around the house that one you probably won't ever use anyway. Um, but get us back out into nature and less reliant on the resources and more reliant on ourselves, I guess, is kind of where I'm thinking. I don't know. I hope I explained that well. Thank you, though.